today we're here at the Dr. Phil show. Thank you so much for coming on down. We have a fantastic guest. I owe her my career more than Oprah Winfrey. Karen HOrneyM. Give her a big hand. And that's that. Hello, Doctor. Pretty much. Now, she's known as a pioneer in feminine psychology because she developed a theory of psychoanalysis that talked about delving into current conflicts. She veered off from Freud at that point. Can you tell me about your childhood growing up in Germany? How you found yourself?
You would not have believed my childhood. My mom was hot. She was about 20 years younger than my dad, who was a sea captain. Thank God he spent most of his time on the sea because a man was an ass. He used the Bible when he got home to beat us with it. He was as self-righteous. Could not stand him. He was horrible. And I was a product of his second marriage and one of his only daughters. So I was low on the totem pole. What did he want me to aspire to do? To be a housemaid. No, thank you.
Well, let's get real, Karen. That's what everybody's supposed to do in that time. That's what they did. You were a young lady. You're supposed to get married and have babies.
Are you kidding me? You're thinking with your penis. And that's another problem that Freud had, but that's a whole other show. But go ahead.
Where did you get the courage to fight for your education, go to medical school?
My mother saw in me that I had ability, and she, unlike what the books say, because you can go on the internet and they're going to give you all kinds of crap, unlike what that says, my mother saw in me an ability, and she wanted me to move forward. She wanted better for me.
Oh, Karen, no matter how flat the pancake is, it has two sides. Your parents were afraid you were going to be promiscuous.
Well, to tell you the truth, I ran around like you would not believe. At one point in my life, I had a husband and 2 lovers. And my dad told me I was ugly, but I think I showed him it's not all about your looks. It's about your brains, too.
Well, it sounds like you should have started buying into that penis envy.
Oh,
Penis.
You know what? You're so Freud. Freud was all about the penis envy, but really, without my womb, you could not procreate. So it's really about the womb envy.
When did you stop buying into that penis envy?
You know, I think when I started to look at men and women as being equal human beings and thinking more about your experience, and when you look at our society and our culture, women were kind of ingrained to think that they were a lesser human being, that they couldn't aspire to what men aspired to. So my dad continually reminded me I was ugly. I would need to depend upon a man who's going to give me a house and support me and give me children. Well, I can do all of that on my own. I don't have to get married to do any of that. So, you know, when I was about 18 or 19, I had to kind of marry my attitudes about morality and about sex. And, you know, I was sent to what we called the gymnasium back then, which was a high school equivalent. They finally opened one for women in Germany right about the time that I needed to progress through that portion of my schooling. And it was amazing to me that I had such strict religious views because of my father, but then I looked at what a sect marriage he and my mother had, and I thought, really, I would rather have love in my life and just suffer whatever consequences, i.e. pregnancy, might happen, rather than being a loveless marriage to a prick like my father.
Well, you can't be on a moving car, Karen, but you ended up just marrying Oscar right out of medical school.
Well, I did, and you know what? Mistake on my part. The sex was really bad. So I ended up having an affair with my best friend's husband, and really, Oscar, he was smart, and we could have some good conversations, but I got really bored with him.
Freud would say you never got past that penis envy, but when you gave your papers to the psychoanalytic institutes in Chicago and New York, you were practically professionally slandered.
It was horrible. You know, I've never experienced anything like that because I'm just as educated, and my female colleagues were just as educated as any male in the room, and it was really a personal attack. when they didn't even stop to consider that there can be a difference of opinion and we can still like each other at the end of the day. Oh yeah, they ran me out of that place.
Well, thank you for doing it, because I would not have gotten to know all these nutcases that I psychotherapized if it weren't for your theories. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
And as a gift for all of you, Karen has
Just so you know,
excerpt from her new
this
book.
is my book on self-analysis. If you have any of these normal human desires, it's perfectly fine. It's just when they become neurotic that you've got an issue. And remember, it doesn't go back to whether you have a penis or you don't. It really goes back to how you were nurtured as a child. So I'll give you a copy of my book.
Let's give it up for Getting Real with Karen.